and you lose 37-0, you don't score, it's easy to jump to that conclusion. I think when Ryan Day and this Ohio State coaching staff look at it, they see in most every other week, including right before that with Michigan for the Badgers, the way that they played, against Alabama earlier in the year. They've seen them playing very hard. They still believe that they're well coached. I think, Anthony, those of us that have known Luke for a long time, that doesn't come as any surprise. But, what did happen on Saturday against Iowa certainly was a little bit shocking. And Ryan Day didn't say something today that he did last week, about Illinois, which was you can throw away that film of Indiana, Illinois, because it is not indicative of the way that team plays. And I think, unfortunately for Wisconsin, whether they quit or didn't quit, I'd let somebody who watches every single snap of the Badgers make that judgment. I think that the talent disparity between these programs is as wide as it's ever been. And part of Wisconsin's identity has always been they're the blue-collar program, and Ohio State's been the blue-chip program, and they have different ways to get to a Big Ten championship game or to have some of the more competitive, series matchups of anywhere in the Big Ten. There were two different ways to go about it. But now that's the thing that I think is most shocking about this Wisconsin roster is that I don't think there's anyone in their starting lineup that would have any kind of regular role at Ohio State. They certainly wouldn't be starters. And even someone like Tackett Curtis, who Ohio State recruited aggressively, the linebacker, they wouldn't have much use, for him in their lineup. So that part, I think, is astounding in a lot of ways, and why we're seeing a close to 4-touchdown spread for this matchup.
Ada, being around Coach Day at the presser today and coming out of the game on Saturday, what's your read on his energy and his vibe when it comes to two things, the special team stuff right now and the run game? And I know he was asked about it today. It didn't feel to me, A-Dub, that he's too concerned about the run game, but what's your feel on, I guess, how he's feeling about both those things?
Yeah, no, I think there's a growing sense of frustration more with the special teams than there is the run game. And I think that, the reason for that would be there's a lot more talent and high-level personnel and coaching, I think, that can go into getting Ohio State more explosive plays on the ground, but they haven't really scratched the surface on that. There's a limit to what you're going to be able to do. Certainly you're halfway through the season. The roster is locked in place, and the punters are the punters, and the field goal kicking, those are the options they've got. They've got, two punters, and they brought in a kicker in Jackson Corville from the transfer portal to bring some competition to Jaden Fielding, and some of that stuff has continued to be wonky, even when they've had, mistakes in the punt return game. They're using starters to get some of that done. Now you have the penalties on top of that Saturday against Illinois. That's the stuff that you really can't accept. If you don't execute the play perfectly after the snap, that's one thing. If you can't even get lined up and do it properly beforehand, that's completely another. And we used to have these conversations a couple of years ago about Parker Fleming and the most famous special teams coordinator in the country because these issues were recurring. And this is happening again after they've made changes, after they've given, full-time assistant coaches more responsibility and more ownership in getting it fixed. So I think that part is definitely more agitating for Ryan Day, because I think the way that the pace that they're playing, we've talked about this every week, and the way that they're executing has not been perfect, but still better than most teams in the country. I know that that's difficult, to wrap your mind around, but when they're getting into some of the stuff with more variety in the running game, especially, that end around with Jeremiah, there's more wrinkles and creativity that they can get to. Now they're still missing some blocks up front. They're occasionally missing blocks on the perimeter, but I don't know that there's been one recurring glaring issue for the run game. It's been, and sometimes that can be more frustrating, but I think for Ryan Day's perspective, it's all the pieces are there and that they're going to execute better over the course of the year. Also, I think once they start dialing up more tempo, that could put the running game in a better situation than it has been in these first 6 weeks. So I think there's a greater sense of confidence that can get fixed because we know that they have the personnel across the board to get that corrected.
I was saying before we brought you on that this isn't really nitpicking. It's more of, when you're a championship team or coming off a championship and, the second question of the presser is about the punting, then maybe that's a good thing. You can't find anything. You got to go right to special teams and just try to – and it's not really nitpicking because the punting hasn't been good, but it's not affecting games is my point. But didn't we hear a lot about the big Aussie kid, the 6'7" kid before the season, and he was going to be like the secret weapon of special teams. And what does he have? One punt this year, I think McClarty does, and Joe McGuire is the guy. I know he was asked about punting today. Does he really believe that Joe is better than McClarty?
Yeah, they do, or else we would have already seen a change there, Anthony. And I think it's not a matter of seniority. It's not a matter of preference with the hang time or with Joe McGuire or anything. I mean, they're not pleased with the yardage. I don't know how anyone could be. That's not what they're hoping for or expecting at that position, but there is just so much variance. I think the last time you and I talked about the punting situation, it was like, maybe not your drive, but mine. It's like every other one, you don't know which direction it's going to go. If Nick McClarty had been able to properly execute, the snap, drop the ball to the foot and every single time unleash, his full potential, there'd be no question about this. But the consistency has simply not been there, or Ohio State would have already made that change. They do know what they're going to get, from Joe McGuire, and we can look and say that maybe that's not good enough, but it's not in a position where Ohio State is willing to take the risk on, how that might, even if it's only 37 to 42 yards every time with Joe McGuire. Ohio State is more than willing to ride with that, because the other option would be like 10 or 50, and that sort of risk is not exactly where you want to be.
Austin, I'm a man that acknowledges Roman Reigns as my tribal chief. Are you a man that acknowledges Julian Sand as a top 5 Heisman candidate right now?
Yeah, I don't understand. And also, I mean, you warned me about what was going to happen on Raw Netflix yesterday, and I apologize for not texting you. My vision was not locked on what was going to happen there. I think that, I think Jeremiah Smith is Ohio State's Heisman candidate, and I think now at the same time, I'm going to present this as I think Julian Sand should be getting more attention than he is right now. I don't think he can win. I don't think that. He could win. I don't think he should win over Jeremiah Smith is my perspective on that. And Jeremiah's in a unique situation where I don't feel like he has to rack up Devonta Smith numbers or beat Travis Hunter and break records to win the Heisman, because people already know how good he is, and he's going to get some leftover credit from a year ago. Now his numbers are still pretty good compared to almost everybody else in the country, and it almost feels disappointing when he has, games like Saturday against Illinois where it's quote unquote just 5 catches for 42 yards and a touchdown. But I find it strange that there is so much urgency to go find any other quarterback on any other team, and not the guy who in his first year as a starting quarterback is 6-0, has beat Texas, has already gone on. Maybe he beat a road ranked opponent, by the way, at Illinois on Saturday. He doesn't seem to be getting as much attention as Ohio State quarterbacks tend to do in that spot. And I don't really understand why, because Julian Sand has somehow actually exceeded the expectations that were already pretty high for what you have to do in that position. So I think that'll come with time. People are still grasping around at other things. This tends to happen sometimes with Ohio State as well, that national media or voters don't want to give them credit. Just because they have the best roster or the best talent. Just because Julian Sand is talented doesn't mean what he's doing is easy.
Yeah, I think it's well said. And by the way, it's not like he's not being mentioned. I think Maddie's question is accurate. I think he is borderline top 5 now. I think they both are in this crazy year of college football. So plenty of games left, plenty of moments left, and this may be the time to certainly talk about the value on both those guys. All right, my man, great stuff as always. We'll talk to you soon, man. Be well.
All right, appreciate you guys. See you.
Thanks, Austin Ward on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline.
All right, we're giving away right now 2 tickets to Saturday's CBJ game as they take on the Lightning. 614-821-9710 is TLC's hotline number. AR, I think you have the question.
Okay, so we had Rusty Klesla on earlier today, and I asked him who and when and why did we Americanize your name to Rusty? Rusty, when his name is Rostislav. And he said, I got that name when I was young in my career. In what state? What state was he in when they gave him the nickname Rusty? And we'll come back with that answer. 821-9710 is the number, and you'll get the Jackets tickets. And we'll come back with Tell the Truth, Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
October is Car Care Month. Visit your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid October 1st through October 31st. See store for details.
You've heard about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Yeah, that's an old one. My dad told that one to me. But when it's your real feet, it's not a game. It's awful. Hey, it's Anthony. I had pain in my feet and my lower back, so I went to the Good Feet store and got the support I needed in my shoes that changed the game for me. I went in and they personally fit me for arch supports that would be perfect for my feet. The fitting process is simple. They ask the right questions about exactly what I was experiencing and the lifestyle I want to be able to live. They professionally measured my feet and arch size, and before I knew it, I was wearing my new arch supports home. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put into all of my shoes. Get professionally fitted at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
In the spirit of Halloween, ooh, spooky, Awaken 180 is offering free consultation all month long. Find out how scary fast you'll lose the weight for free. Call 844-346-1800.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
5 words no one wants to hear? You need a new roof. What do you do? Who do you call? How are you going to pay for it? Hey, it's Timmy Hall, and these are all questions that run through people's minds when they hear those 5 words. But if you pick up the phone and call Victor's Home Solutions, your new roof will be the easiest, most hassle-free home improvement project you'll ever do. Victor's has thousands of 5-star ratings for both customer service and high-quality installation. Plus, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. And since no one wants to pay these high interest rates for a limited time, Victor's is offering 5-year, no-interest financing with minimum monthly payments for qualified buyers. So if you need a new roof, don't stress. Victor's Home Solutions has your back. It starts with a free 21-point roof inspection. It assesses the exact condition of your roof and what needs to be done next. Set up your inspection today. 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS or online at victors.com.
You know what my favorite place is to watch a game? The ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. This is Scotty Vegas, and Dave Biddle and I are throwing a huge party for the Thursday night Steelers-Bengals game. We have tickets, Pro Football Hall of Fame passes, and dining credits to give out during the game at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Amazing food, huge screens, and prizes. That's a winning parlay. Can't wait to see you Thursday night. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with a team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Dolphins from the land.
Live fan coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick It One.
Your Central Ohio home of the Browns, The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com now.
All right, before we get to Tell the Truth, we'll get the answer to the trivia question, which is when Rostislav Klesla was, before we drafted him in 2000, in the late 90s, he was playing junior hockey for the Sioux City Musketeers in Iowa in the United States Hockey League. And that's who nicknamed him Rusty. Who knew it?
Greg and Lewis Center.
Greg, well done, man. Thanks for listening. If you missed any part of that interview, please check it out. It's kind of a two-parter. One where we went through basically his time getting drafted and being a jacket for all those years. And then the other section was where Rusty Klesla played Rusty Klesla trivia. How well did he know himself in Blue Jackets lore?
Did pretty well.
He did pretty well. I thought on some really pretty specific questions, like his own ranking, and he was like right there within one.
I was impressed. So yeah, it was awesome to have him in studio. Good to see Todd again. So thanks to everybody for the Jackets for making that happen. You too, AR. So yeah, it was really enjoyed that. If you missed it, just catch up on the podcast, Rothman Ice, wherever you get your podcasts, and that'll be ready to go here shortly, I would have to imagine, right, TLC, not too long after we're done here.
Oh, yeah. I think right at 3 o'clock is when it uploads. It may not load into your podcast feed for maybe like another 10, 15 minutes, but it's up there for sure.
It's good stuff.
Do we have any more CBJ tickets this week, or are we done?
2 every day.
Oh, every day?
Yeah.
Every day.
So do be listening.
Okay.
Shout out to Greg. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the game on Saturday.
Greg, well done.
Yep.
Take us home.
All right, here we go. I was asked an interesting question yesterday at the gym by a guy who knows where I work because
Tuesday's arms and back.
Yeah, as Nicole Sheeran makes fun of me, I actually wear my key lanyard. Like my car keys aren't a lanyard. I actually do wear it around my neck, and I have my 97.1 The Fan badge on my keys. And so he knows where I work. And so
if you lose your keys, then someone can get in our building.
Yeah, but more importantly, then I don't have a car. I think that's worse.
Yes, you don't have a car, and we have dropped every safety protocol that ever happened.
Oh, man.
All right, continue.
I argue that me not having a car, well, nah.
I agree for you.
It depends.
We've already learned on this show that what impacts you is the most important.
Get in the end zone.
That's right.
Oh, man.
But I was asked, I was asked by my buddy Brian, who works at the gym that I go to. He goes, does it feel like work when people ask you sports questions outside of the radio station? I thought that was an interesting question. And it kind of depends on what you ask. Like if somebody asked me for a top 10 NFL QB rankings, I'd be like, this feels like work right now.
Oh, man. It's interesting because I do sometimes, like when I look at my friends, our group message, and they're rolling about a sports topic, I found myself I'm just going to sit this out. And I think it is because...
I'll save it for Monday at noon.
I think it's because I do get a little fatigued sometimes with talking about what we have to talk about every day and then continuing that, in a group message. But if somebody, if we're out and somebody asks me a sports question, I will absolutely lock in and have that conversation. But specifically with my friends, I bail more times than not when it comes to the sports takes.
You forgot where you came from.
I'm good. Yeah, I've had my takes. I'm good.
Yeah, it kind of depends. Maddie's right. To answer your original question, it does feel like a continuation of work a little bit.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
I think if it's a very first take type of topic, like if somebody says, hey, what do you think about Bronny James? I'm going to go, oh, my God, this is work.
If someone walked up to you on the street or you were with your buddies or whatever at the gym and they said, who do you think is going to be the next Penn State coach? You'd be expected to give an answer.
Yeah.
Or a guess. You would. It wouldn't be I'm done with work today.
Go look at the Vegas odds.
I got to give you an answer. Yeah. Matt Rule. I think the fun conversation we should have this week are the true sleeper candidates, trying to identify not the big name, because I think that's what Penn State's going to try to do. I'm not saying they won't get Matt Rule. What is it going to cost him $5 million to leave Nebraska or whatever it is? And he never really said no. Why wouldn't he be drawn there? You can buy low with him, former player, loves the university, bleeds Penn State. I feel like this is what he's probably dreamt of his whole life. And I don't know if anybody asked him that today.
It's tough. If you're a Nebraska fan, right? Because it's kind of like
the guy.
If you're in a relationship with somebody and they tell you hey, I was in a really good relationship, it just didn't work, and you can kind of feel that in their world that's the one that got away. and then now that person, the one that got away, is single again, and they're trying to get after who you're with. I think that's kind of where Nebraska fans are at. They're looking at Matt Rule and hearing what he said, and they're like, well, that wasn't a, hey, I'm never leaving type of answer. This is a, hey, somebody that I wanted to be in a relationship with is now single and available. That's a tough place to be if you're a Nebraska fan, because I would completely understand if Matt Rule's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going back to my alma mater.
Yeah. It's like Matty, he's been waiting out a certain amount of marriages, but there's one he really has his eye on. And so,
let's get that divorce going.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move it along. I
would never wish that on anybody.
I can't imagine that he...
I love love.
That he went
Especially
to the press conference.
Now we're talking.
And didn't have something like, okay, I'm going to be asked, how honest can I be?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie and say I'm not interested. But I'm not going to say I'm leaving. Like,
I think you just have to lie and say I'm all in on Nebraska, even if you know in the back of your mind I would like to go there. Because that doesn't help you to do what he did yesterday, but maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't care. Folks, what you need to care about is Common Man and Timmy coming up next, so don't move. We'll be back tomorrow, high noon. Hockey and Hounds tomorrow at 2:30, and also Adam Schefter at 12:30. So lock in with us. We love
plenty to talk about then.
We've worked hard on our blitzes.
Really have.
Just glad he didn't play the Jamar one.
And we'll continue to work.
know the Steelers going to try to come in and raw dog us.
All right.
I played myself, but I kind of wanted to hear it.
He might stick around for an hour, just go into another booth and just play these for himself.
Steelers.
All right. We'll come back tomorrow, talk to you at high noon. Thanks for listening. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, the Fan.